Hi everyone, welcome to Poisonous People. Today we're going to be hashing out all the details of the Narcissism Bibliotherapy project. So if you've seen my videos on drama therapy or some of my stories floating around and you're wondering, what the heck is this? This is the video that's going to explain everything in detail. So first off, what is bibliotherapy? Bibliotherapy is a therapeutic activity that traditionally uses books, poetry, and literature to bring about therapeutic results. It can also be done in the form of therapeutic storytelling. So right now, I see this as a form of therapeutic storytelling. I'm going to be telling a bunch of stories for therapeutic purposes, but I might also throw in some poetry or some song lyrics even that we can reflect on. So for the most part, it's going to be storytelling. Bibliotherapy is a form of drama therapy. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about drama therapy, I do plan on creating other videos just to talk about drama therapy and the impact of drama on ourselves as a therapeutic activity. So now that we know what this is, I need to stress that this is a therapeutic activity. It is not therapy. It doesn't substitute for psychotherapy with a licensed mental health professional. It doesn't substitute for psychotherapy with myself. If you're one of my clients, this isn't therapy, but it's a great activity that you can use to supplement these sessions that you and I are having. This is also not intended to diagnose anybody or treat any condition. It's merely an activity that hopefully will give you some catharsis, some epiphanies, and just some opportunities to reflect. Anyone can participate. So it doesn't matter if you consider yourself to be a narcissist or you're somebody who was actually diagnosed with NPD, or maybe you're somebody who was affected by somebody with NPD, or you were somebody that had a really painful experience with someone who was very toxic. It doesn't matter who you are. Anybody can participate, and I will tell you how to participate momentarily. How long will this project last? Indefinitely. Let's put it this way. I discovered narcissistic personality disorder in the spring of 1992. Yeah, that's just came across my 30-year anniversary this year. I can't believe that just sounds so crazy, but it's been a long time. So I have tons of stories to tell. Professional stories, personal stories, just kind of spur of the moment, idiot in the parking lot stories. I have so many stories, and not all of them make me look like the good guy. I have stories where I reflect on things that I've regret doing or saying to other people. Stories about friendships that were once strong and now they're not. So there are so many stories for me to unpack on this channel. I made a list of all the ones that I could think of, and I came up with enough material that I think could fill 100 videos. So some of those are not individual stories. I would say about maybe 50 of them are individual stories, and then the other 50 are two stories that I can think of telling in individual episodic segments. So those I'm not planning on doing right away because they're much more involved. But the point is there's a lot of material, and even if I reach the end of all those stories, it's not like I've removed myself from the human race. I mean, I expect to acquire more stories as long as I'm alive, because we're all human, we're all toxic, we're all going to have scuffles and conflicts. And I know that as long as I'm a member of the human race and I interact with other members of the human race, there are certainly more stories in my future. So I don't expect this to end anytime soon. I think this is going to be incredibly beneficial because you're not ever going to be in the hot seat. Again, whether you're a narcissist, person with NPD, or just somebody who's been affected by it, maybe you're somebody who realizes you have some character flaws or some aspects of your personality that you'd like to work on, you're never going to be in the hot seat because these stories are not about you. They're about me. They're about people I've encountered throughout my life. And what's really magical about drama is that there's a concept known as sociometry, and that is all about finding the connections between all of us. And as human beings, we all have a lot in common. It doesn't matter what your background is, what your gender is, how you grew up. We all know what it feels like to be rejected, betrayed, ridiculed, have our heart broken. And so as human beings, we can all identify with what that feels like. So when I tell these stories, I don't think all of the stories will have a clear-cut good guy and a clear-cut bad guy. I mean, some of these stories, yeah, it's gonna be pretty clear that this one's the good guy and this one's the bad guy. But there are stories where it's not that clean, and relationships, friendships, they're messy. And there are a lot of different factors that go into why we screw up our relationships or why things kind of crash and burn after they were going so well. So I'm going to just be sharing these stories with you. And my anticipation would be that you're going to recognize something in these stories that are going to pertain to you. And that would be the therapeutic part. So the goals of this project would really be ideally helping you to discover an aha moment or an epiphany, or maybe even developing more empathy for people that you can think of that these stories might remind you of. The way I see this working is that there are going to be 2 levels of participation. Level 1, all you have to do is just listen to the story. Just watch the video from beginning to end. And you can just go off on your own and reflect on how this affected you. We never have to know that you exist. We never have to know that you watched the video. You just watch the whole thing and you take what you will from that story. Level 2 participation is the same thing as level 1, but only you're going to be sharing your thoughts with the community in the comments section. Now, you're free to comment anything. I mean, you can comment on the videos in the same way that you would comment on any other video. But if you really want to maximize the therapeutic aspect of this, you might want to comment specifically on how the story affected you personally, or what you got from the story. So this could be anything from, wow, I really saw myself in this character and I realized that this is something I need to work on. Or you might say, you know what? This same exact thing happened to me, and it just made me feel validated knowing that somebody else went through what I went through. You could even comment on how it was helpful for you. You're free to comment any way you want. And who knows, maybe even your comment, if there was a specific insight that you got from the story and you wanted to share that publicly in the comments section, that could also give someone else insight. Ultimately, I do want this to be something that's very cathartic for you. So feel free to watch the videos that capture your attention. Feel free to watch the ones that you think you might be able to last for the whole video. Make sure if it is a longer video that you're gonna be somewhere where you can really get into the story. If this whole thing is not for you, don't worry, because this channel is not going to turn into story time. I do intend to continue making educational and informational videos as well, so that my hope is there will be something on this channel for everybody. So if you don't like this idea and this isn't for you, you can just bypass the storytelling videos and just wait for another one of my informational videos to be published. At the beginning of every video, I will put a link to this video in the description so that it's very easy to access this video. So if you ever need a refresher on why we're doing this or how this is supposed to work, this video will always be at your fingertips. And if you have any other questions about how this would work, you can leave those questions in the comments for this video and I will answer them for you. If this goes well and I can think of other types of drama therapy to do on my channel, I'll find a way to make that happen as well. So this is still going to be largely experimental at this stage, but any questions, leave them for me in the comments. I'm so excited about starting this project. I'm really glad that you're here, and I'll see you soon. I'm Jen Guerriero, and this is Poisonous People. Thanks for watching.